If you ever wanted to offer an ability on your website or on your client's website to offer events or appointments, especially recurring ones, would you build this feature from scratch? I bet a lot of you would at least consider it, but in reality, you shouldn't, at least not if you want to do it right. In this video, I'll show you how to work with a fantastic WordPress plugin that you should be using for all your appointments and events. I'm talking about Amelia, WordPress booking plugin for appointments and events. This video is kindly sponsored by Amelia, and Amelia is the go-to solution for WordPress bookings. Amelia comes with a ton of fantastic features, essentially all booking features that you might ever need, from event lists to calendar views to step-by-step booking wizards, which work really great. I'm going to show you exactly how in a moment, to of course customizable design and a number of developer-specific features such as WordPress hooks, JavaScript hooks, and API endpoints. Of course, Amelia comes with too many features to show them all, so we'll just focus on creating recurring events and appointments, and this will give you a pretty clear idea how good Amelia actually is. I will jump into WordPress now, and for this demo site, I already have Amelia installed. The installation process is, of course, trivial. You will get a zip file, then all you need to do is hit Add Plugin, Upload Plugin, Install Now, and once the installation is done, you need to activate it and enter your license key, and after that, you're ready to use it. So I'll jump directly into Amelia dashboard. You will see everything about your appointments on the dashboard, but it's empty right now because we don't have any appointments or any events created. So let's do that first. Before we get started with Amelia, the first thing that you will need is a user, or rather an employee, and it's going to be very clear why you need it in a bit, so just bear with me. And if you are starting with Amelia from scratch, then create an employee first. This is essentially my profile, but here on the screen, edit employee or add employee. If you're just adding one, you can immediately assign services, work hours, days off, special days, and so on to that particular employee. Work hours allow you to very easily set the availability for your employees or for yourself when you want to be able to take appointments. So in this example, I've set my schedule to Wednesday and Thursday from 9 to 17, and that is all the time that I have available for appointments or events. You'll see exactly how this works in a bit. Of course, you can set this up any way you want. For example, if I wanted to add Friday as well, I can easily do that. I can set working hours, for example, from 15 to 17. And now my working schedule related to appointments and events is on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in those particular hours. The second thing that you need before you can create events and appointments is a service. So I'm going to jump into services here, and I'm going to add a new category. Of course, you can add as many categories as you want. And for this example, let's add web development. I'm going to hit save. And now that I have a category, I can add a service to that category. And for example, the first service that I want to add is going to be performance optimization. The category is going to be web development. I want to show this service on the website, and I want to set this appointment as recurring, perhaps weekly. And here I have a number of options that I can choose from. For example, if somebody wants to reserve a date that's already been booked, then the system can offer them the closest date after, the closest date before, or either before or after, depending on which is the closest. Let's just leave it as is. Just as well, you can handle how customers have to pay for the appointments. The customers will have to pay for all appointments or just for the first appointment. Let's leave it at first. I can limit appointments per customer. You can select the number of appointments, specific timeframes, and so on. We're not going to dig into this right now. I'll just hit save, and I'm going to be notified that I also need to set a duration because I'm getting ahead of myself. That's how eager I am to show you how it looks on the front end. So I'm going to set the duration here for 1 hour. The pricing is going to be, let's say, $150. And I can also set here the buffer time before and after if I need a little bit of time to prepare for this appointment, to check out the client's website to see exactly what the deal is. Then I can set this, for example, to 30 minutes, or if I need some time after the actual appointment to make some notes or whatever it is, I can set this up here as well. The next thing is capacity. So depending on the appointment type, you can set minimum and maximum capacity. For this example, it doesn't really make any difference, so I'm going to leave it as is. But I'm going to mention right here that Amelia also works with real-life in-person events as well. The examples that I'm going to show you will be focused on the online events and appointments, but you can also set locations. You have specific menu right here, and then you'll be able to handle in-person events, in-person appointments, and so on. If you or your clients have whatever, a hairdresser salon or anything like that, and they need to offer an ability for customers to book appointments, you will be able to easily set location for that as well. I'm going to hit save now, and I have my first service, performance optimization. All right, I would like to add this service performance optimization to my website. So I'm going to go into pages and I'm going to open this page, Amelia WordPress booking plugin. Here I'm using the standard WordPress editor, but I am going to mention that Amelia works with pretty much all page builders that you can think of. So for example, if you're using Elementor, this is going to work with Elementor. You will have custom elements specifically for Amelia that you can directly use from Elementor's sidebar. I will insert a block here, and immediately at the top, I see a number of Amelia-specific elements that I can use. So we have here Amelia step-by-step booking, Amelia catalog booking, and then we have a number of deprecated elements. Don't use those. Amelia is regularly updated. So if you are starting right now with Amelia, I'll use one of their newer elements. They work a little bit better than the previous ones. Then you have events list, events calendar, and customer panel. This allows you to give customers a possibility to manage their bookings and profile information, and employee panel. This gives your employees the possibility to manage their bookings. I'm going to add step-by-step booking element here. All right, let me delete this. And as you clearly see, this inserts a shortcode into my page. So this is the place where the element from Amelia will be generated. Of course, you can tweak some of the options here in the sidebar directly. Let's just save this and open the preview so we see exactly what this looks like. There we go. I already have this fantastic widget available on my website on my front end, which allows my customers to book appointments. And if you remember, I set my working days to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and these are only days that will be available in my calendar. So as you're adding employees and their available work hours, this will be immediately reflected intuitively in the calendar. So let's select this date, 9:30 to 10:30. Fine. I'm going to hit continue. I do want to repeat this appointment, and I want to repeat it every 2 weeks on Wednesday. Sure. And I only want to have 2 appointments, so I'm going to have 1 extra occurrence. I'm going to hit continue here, and you already see how this step-by-step booking process works. It's going to guide your customers through all the steps that they need to take to create an appointment, so you get all the information that you need from them, and that they also have all the information that they need for the appointment. I'm going to hit continue. I'm already logged in into WordPress with my first name, last name, and email, so I'm just going to leave this as is. And here it is, my service subtotal and total. I can see the summary here from my service, and the payment integrations are already built in. You can offer on-site payment, which is going to make sense if you're booking appointments in real life, or you can offer online payments so the customers can pay immediately online. I'm going to jump back into admin now so I can show you all the integrations for payment that you have available. I'll open Amelia settings. I'm going to open view payment settings. Here I can set up my default currency, the way I want to display my currency, decimals, then I can even hide the symbols from the booking form. You can set up coupons here, payment links, enable taxes, and you can configure a number of payment providers from Square, WooCommerce, Molly, PayPal, Stripe, and Razorpay. So there's quite a few options that you have at your disposal. Of course, Amelia is integrated into WooCommerce directly. So if you are working with WooCommerce, then Amelia has got you covered. So whichever payment platform you're using, you'll be able to set this up in Amelia easily. All right, I'll jump back to my page preview and I'll select on-site payment because I don't want to go through the payment process right now. So this is my summary. I have successfully booked my first event. And I'll jump back to admin and to my dashboard. Here I can immediately see that I already have 2 approved appointments. And if you remember, we set up recurring appointments. So this is how easy it is to work with those. If you or your clients are offering service that makes sense as a recurring service, perhaps somebody wants to get a haircut every month, perhaps you want to have SEO optimization or performance optimization, as in our example, every few months to see where your client is standing, to work on various parts of performance issues, then you can very easily set this up in Amelia. I'll scroll down here and I'm going to see that I have 2 recurring appointments. The ones that I mentioned, I see exactly the duration. I can cancel, reject those events if I need to. And here I can see views and appointments based on my employees. So if you have multiple employees, you're going to be able to see how many appointments each of your employees has, or if you're offering different services, or if you're offering one service, you'll be able to see here how many views a particular service has or how many appointments. And this is a really handy overview. All right, I will jump into appointments menu now because we do have another feature available there that I want to show you. So I'll select my appointments. And again, I'm going to see the list of my appointments. I can edit anything I want here. And also notify a customer about my changes. I can see the payment information and so on. And if I want to create a manual appointment, I can also do this very easily. I have a new appointment button right here. So if you ever need to create an appointment directly from your admin, well, you can easily do this in Amelia. Essentially, yeah, this is how easy it is to work with appointments in Amelia. And now let's create an event. And working with events is, again, just as easy as with appointments. I'm going to create a new event. And here, let's create a live coding session. I'm going to set it up to Thursday. Let's say from 7:30 to 8:30, 1 hour. This is again going to be a recurring event, and I want to do a live coding session every month. So I'm going to repeat it monthly, every 1 month, and on third Thursday of the month. I can tweak a number of options right here, and I'm going to select myself as an organizer and as a presenter. I can add specific text to my events if I want to track which types of events am I creating. Let's say CSS here. Perhaps later on we want to create an Next.js event. Let's hit save here. And again, I'm too eager and I didn't fill out everything. I didn't fill out until when filled. And let's say I'm going to do this all the way to the end of October this year. For dates, I will select this. Then I can tweak my pricing. This is going to be a free event, so I'm not going to set any pricing here. But if I want to set up pricing, I can request a deposit. So if you're dealing with a lot of cancellations at the last moment, you can deal with this by requesting a deposit. Another incredibly useful feature is custom pricing. This allows you to set up specific pricing. For example, if you wanted to offer early bird pricing, you could easily set this up here by setting the date range and a specific price precisely for this date range. Next, we have an ability to customize an event, and I'm going to actually use this, and I'm going to add an image here. Let's use one of the existing images, and let's change the color, for example, to purple to be more in line with CSS. Logo color, which is Rebecca Purple, as you surely know by now. I want to show this event on the page. I do not want to have a waiting list, but if you are using a pro license, I'm currently on a standard license here, so that's why I don't have this feature enabled, but you should get a pro license because you will have a lot of additional features that are very handy, especially if you're working with a lot of events and appointments. And lastly, in settings, there are a few options that you can utilize, like setting the minimum required time before cancellation, redirect URL after booking. If you want to redirect your customers once they book an event to a certain URL, then this is where you would set this up. Under payments, you can, of course, set up payments for this particular event. You can configure payment integration under settings screen, but you can set everything up by event right here. So if you don't want to use WooCommerce for this particular event and you only want to offer on-site payment, then this is how you would set this up very easily. And of course, we have here a number of useful integrations: Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and Less Space. I want to use Google Meet for this particular event. And of course, to set up Google Meet, I would have to go again into settings. And by the way, as I saved this, I already see my first two events. First one is scheduled for May 22nd and second one for the June 19th. Yeah, this is how easy it is to set up reoccurring events in Amelia. You only need to enable reoccurring events, and once you do, you configure them exactly as you want. You want to have an event weekly, monthly, daily. You can set up anything any way you want, and it's really easy and really intuitive to work with those. All right, let's open settings and then view integration settings. Here I have a number of fantastic integrations that you should be using because you are working with events and appointments, and you do want to integrate your calendar or your customers' calendars. So whenever somebody books an event and you have integrated Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Apple Calendar, whatever it is that you're using, those events and appointments will immediately appear in your calendar or in your customer's calendar, which is exactly how it should work. And as for Google Meet that we enabled for our event, we can enable it here, and it's going to work as long as we integrate it with our Google service. So the process is fairly simple. You need a client ID and client secret, and Amelia offers a fantastic documentation that will guide you through each step of the way to set this up properly. All right, now that we have created our event, we can actually add this event to our front page and enable our clients or customers or site visitors to actually book an event. I will edit my page again, and I will remove the existing shortcut And instead, I will add Amelia events list element. I will save the page, and immediately as I refresh my page, I will see a beautiful widget from Amelia that shows all events that I have created that are available for booking. The first one is going to be May 22nd, and all the other events until the last one in October are here. If I want to learn more about this event, I'm just going to hit a read more button, and it looks great, so I will book it. Again, I have my name on it. I'm going to leave it as is. Continue. Of course, I can immediately add this event to my calendar. I just download the invitation here, open it, and it's going to be directly in my calendar, exactly as it should be. All right, this event is now full because I already reserved it, I booked it, and there was only one available spot. I intentionally didn't change this to allow more people to join because I did want to have one-on-one session and even more to show you what a fully booked spot looks like in Amelia frontend. All right, let's jump back into admin and let's add another widget, another Amelia widget, and this time let's add Amelia events calendar. I really love this widget and you're going to immediately see why. This is a beautifully designed calendar that shows all events that you have available. So for every month, I can see exactly at which place there is an event. It's going to be grayed out if it's fully booked, so you will know immediately that you cannot reserve this event. But for any other event that is available and open for bookings, the customers will very easily be able to click on it, get this beautiful pop-up window, and then, of course, intuitively book that particular event. Of course, in the admin area, you can immediately see the status for your events, and I'm gonna change my filter here and select also July because I did book an event in July. So let's change this, and you're gonna see immediately here that this event has been booked. I can click attendees here and see exactly all details about this particular customer who booked an event, and I can, for example, remove this attendee or maybe even edit it and change a name or a number of people that this particular person will bring to the event. Essentially, Amelia gives you all of the tools that you need to manage your events directly from WordPress admin very effectively and very easily. One last thing that I want to show you is how easy it is to customize the design for your front-end widgets. I'm going to go into Customize option under Amelia, and here I can see all elements that are available in the WordPress sidebar on the edit page or in any other page editor that you might be using. Let's edit this event list booking form. As you can clearly see, this widget has been intentionally created in a way to offer all options that are available, all states that are available for your calendar, for your event listing, which is of course incredibly helpful if you're trying to customize things. Here you can tweak general options which apply for the entire widget or specific steps. Let's open global settings. By the way, I really love this subtle animation that happens as I'm entering and exiting this settings menu. It's really nicely done, and I think it nicely shows how much attention goes into creating this particular plugin. If you want to tweak colors, there's really a number of things you can customize here. Let's tweak the button, for example, and I'm going to change this to a purple. Immediately as I hit OK, my preview will update. This, of course, applies to all my elements and this particular widget, but if I go into separate steps, let's say event info, the preview will update and show you that particular step, so you can very easily tweak anything you want about the design. For example, you can hide any number of fields that you don't really need for your events. Perhaps you don't need an event location, in which case you can very easily hide it. And all the other options work exactly the same, are exactly as intuitive as this one. So click around and see for yourself how easy you can tweak the design of Amelia widgets. I hope that this short introduction convinced you that if you ever want to offer events or appointments on your website, on your customers' websites, then you should use Amelia. You're going to find the link in the description, so make sure to hit that link and check out the details on Amelia's website. There's way too many features available in Amelia to go through all of them. So get the plugin, try it out yourself, and you'll see how easy it is to work with events and appointments in Amelia. Thanks so much to Amelia for sponsoring. Thank you so much for your attention. My name is Zoran Yambor. I will see and hear you in a different reoccurring appointment, or rather, in the next video.